New tires. Firestone Increase Flexiones. It's the IF 670 R30s in the front. And Firestone 710 70R42 Increase Flexiones in the rear. Being an increased Flexion design will add weight and capacity. This tire here has a 17,100 pound weight capacity per tire. And it is a 179B, which means it is speed rated for 30 miles per hour or greater. Which you can see right there. This tractor is the high-speed transmission. There are places this tractor will run about 37 miles an hour. I think on the flat and level, if you just set it to go max, it runs about 33.6. This is the Firestone DT tread design. So front and rears are the same. Firestone has always made the 23-degree radial tire, which is a straight bar and a 23-degree tread pattern. However, it's not made in a 710 70 R42. Maiden voyage on some new tires. I like them. Looks sweet. No duals hanging out. Looks good. It's gonna work well. And yes, I do have duals for the tractor. They are brand new Firestone IFs, same as the insides. Mounted on freshly redone rims. Sandblasted, powder coated. Look quite nice. I still have to get the weights put in here though. We're gonna run 450 pound weights plus the 165 starter weight per dual. When you purchase an 8R series tractor, you'll have different groups of tires that you can choose from. Group 43 in the front, Group 48 in the rear, Group 44 front, Group 49 rear. What the group numbers would be your aspect ratio, your height of your front tire versus the height of your back tire, which allows to keep your gearing proper. When you order the high speed option, John Deere requires that you buy an ILS front axle. And it only gives you one option code to order from on the ILS front axle. Again, that's for a 31 mile an hour transmission. Being a high-speed transmission tractor, if you want front and rear duals from the factory, you'll be getting 420 34 fronts and 18 450 rear tires and duals. That's the only front and rear dual combination you can get with a high-speed transmission. This tractor had 520 46, which are 20.8 46 rear tires and duals, then the 420 34 front tires and duals. And the only reason it had that was because we had put the rears on ourselves. They're off our 7200R, which if you're a regular follower, you'll know which tractor that is. The 520 46 rears are identical height to an 18 450. They're just a little bit wider, to be 20.8 inches wide versus an 18.5 inch wide tire. Being that there's only certain option codes you can get with a high-speed transmission, you need to keep your aspect ratio the same. This 670 R30s, they're identical height to what was on here, which again is the 420 34s, which is about a 62.5 tall tire. They did make a 620 75 R30 tire, which is the same rim, but it's a little bit bigger at 66.6. And that tire has now been discontinued in the Firestone DT. They've only make that in a Firestone Max traction. And I have reason to believe that they are redoing their tire series. I think that the Max Tractions may eventually replace the DT series tire. This is a 2017 8400R. You'll notice that there's no bolts, whereas a regular wheel you'll have what they call a flange hub. So these bolts here bolt the wheel to the hub here. On a regular front end, you'll have this set of bolts, and you'll have another set of bolts out here that would the rim bolts to this plate, so you can change positions. It's called an 8-position front wheel. This is what they call a 2-position front wheel, either dish in or dish out. This is the only front wheel available for this size tire for this particular tractor because of the big front hubs. If you compare the front hub on this compared to like an 8360R, it's about half again bigger in diameter. To handle the horsepower, they updated their hubs on the current AR series. I think the 8370 and 8400 could be other models too, but I can't say for certain. I know some of the smaller ones like an 8295R have the smaller hubs, which would be used like an 8360, the series before this. And then on the rear, they all use what I call the stub hub wheels, which is this is your main cast center. Then they have your rim. This is part of your rim, and depending on how thick this piece would be, so it's basically used as a universal center, and they can use a 42-inch rim, a 46, a 50, even a 38. 710, 70, 42 rears, identical height to the 20.846s or the 18.450s that were on there originally. They're all like an 80.1 tall tire, and again the fronts are identical height to what was on there as well. So we didn't change any of the aspect ratios, didn't change any tire heights. We just changed the width and load capacities. Personally, I like to have about an 8-inch difference, somewhere in 8-inch area between front and rear wheels, meaning in different heights. So 8 inches smaller up here. If you have like a 30-inch front wheel and a 50-inch rear wheel, it'd be around 20 inches of difference. I think it looks kind of funny from like a side profile. It just doesn't look quite balanced. John Deere sells a 380 38 front and an 18.450 rear dual combination. It's a nice look together. Or they have the 20.846 rear duals and 16.934 fronts, which is what we had on here, which looks good together as well. I don't think the 50-inch rears and the 34 fronts look as good as they do with a 50-inch rear and 38-inch front. It's just purely based on contrast between the two wheels, but that's just my personal opinion on how you view them. From side profile, I think they look better with certain combinations than others. We wanted to be able to use this tractor for a wider array of things around the farm. We also have some narrow doorways that we go through in the fall, such as our grain leg shed. We pull wagons with this tractor, where the duals that were on it before wouldn't even go through the doorways. If we had taken the duals off of the tires we had before, I think you would have suffered sidewall breakage, overload, might not even have driven very well. Now we've addressed that. We can run the tractor as singles. It's nice and narrow, more nimble, more user-friendly, and again, it gives us a wider array of things we can do with the tractor. And with just having rear duals, we can put the rear duals on, do our tillage operations, do any planting operations. We have more traction than we ever did before. Pretty quick and easy to change in and out of duals or no duals, because we're not having to contend with front duals. And yes, I kept my front spacers, my big cast spacers, so if I do want to put front duals on it, I actually have a company I can work with and get front duals for this tractor yet again. They would be 670R30s that made up. I've got several other pictures I should throw in here on this as a clip to show you what it would look like. Again, not my tractor if you see the clip, but it is what it would look like with 710, 7042 rear duals and 630 front duals. But that's not in the plans for right now. The main thing we wanted to be able to accomplish was to get the tractor a little narrower so it would be under 11 feet wide, and then we could get through some narrow doorways and also use the tractor again for a wider array of implements, which if you're a regular subscriber, stay tuned to the next video, which will be coming up really soon. And there's a hint, almost panned out too far, so stay tuned for that. Hopefully this is a little precursor and an education level here at the same time. So thanks for watching.